Hey folks, in this video, we're going to be checking out another multi-viewer. This one is by the good folks at OREI. And can this give you some good multi-view options? Let's find out. Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you like what we're doing here, consider becoming a patron or a YouTube member. Links are down below. Now, a long time ago, before there was ever such thing as the A10 Mini Pro or the Pro ISO, I had a little video where I finagled a way to jimmy rig or whatever way you want to call it to get yourself a multi-view option, because the A10 Mini does not offer that in any way, shape, or form. The Pro and higher allows you to do that, but what we ended up doing was using a device that actually would give you a multi-view, and that video did very well. And I guess about 3 days ago, OREI sent me an email saying, hey, would you like to check out ours? Sure. So it came in the mail today, and let's go ahead and open this up and let's check this out and see what it offers. All right, here it is. Now, the awesome thing about this one supports 4K. So if you use this one and they come out with a A10 Mini Pro 4K ISO super duper califragilistic expialidocious version, or whatever they decide to call it, this one can actually support it. Yeah, I fumbled on that one. But let's see what's inside. All right, we obviously have the unit here. Get this tape off and let's check it out here. Oh, let's see this other piece of tape here. I normally would use my knife, but I have that left in the car from all the other installs we've been doing throughout the week. All right, there we go. Tape, get off my finger. Get off my finger. There we go. All right. So we have on the front here, we got some buttons, we got some lights, channels 1 through 4, mode, reso, service, power button, well, power light. It looks like that is a RF, something like that, for control or something like that. And on the back, we have 4 inputs. We have an output that will go to your monitor, but we also have a VGA output. Interesting. Audio, DC 12-volt power connector where it can screw in so it won't be coming loose. If this came with HDMI cables, I would be so happy. No! All right, so we got a remote here. Yay, so now it should be working. We got some mounting clamps here. You can probably put it at the bottom of a rack mount or something like that. And I was going to say international plug, but it looks like it probably does support it, but I only got this one. And that is perfectly fine. And then we got a manual for the HDMI 4x1 quad multi-viewer. All right, we got the remote. We have different modes to show one channel, all the channels, different layouts. So that's interesting. Yeah, really nothing to it. Now, what does this support? Says it supports resolutions of 3840 by 2160 at 30 hertz, 1920 by 1080 at 50 and 60, 1280, 720 at 50 and 60. So you're pretty much stuck at 50 and 60. So just off the top of my head, if you're actually using the ATEM Pro or something like that, or actually any ATEM, and you're trying to send a signal in here that doesn't support that, that might be a problem. Now, I don't know if this has a scaler built in or not, but we're going to test it out. I don't have power adapters for my HDMI splitters like I did in the WeStar type of video, but honestly, like in my setup right now, I use USB out. Well, actually, I'm capturing right now over HDMI. What I'd really like to do here is use the HDMI to do multi-view with the Pro, but I'm using, let me cut over so you can see. I'm actually, well, you can't see. I'm actually using the USB to record this on my SSD, so I can't use that. The HDMI out is going into my recording system, vMix over here to the left, and that's what's recording this as a secondary backup, and this is the way for me to see what's going on, so I can't even use the multi-view right now. The idea is you could split all of your inputs that's coming into the ATEM and this, like we did in the other video, and then we can now still have a multi-view going on at the same time. That's why I think this would work. Plus, it's very sturdy, so you can actually just put this up under here. And let me cut back over here so you can see its size. So it's not as long as the ATEM. Maybe got about an inch and a half left, but you could technically still set this directly up under here and it would work fine. So let's go ahead and see if we can hook this up. Again, like I said, I don't have all of my HDMI splitters like I used to, my 1x2s. I have 3 of them, so I'm still short by 1. So I won't be able to do this the way I normally would, or I did the WeStar. Plus, even if I did have them, I don't have enough HDMI cables to do it. But anyway, let's get this set up and let's see what it looks like. And I'm going to see if I can do the output into the ATEM so that way you can see what I see. Alrighty, so let's see what we get. Alright, so what I have is the OREI Quad Multi-Viewer going into input number 3 on my ATEM. So we are seeing my laptop, my DSLR right here, my Sony camcorder right here, which is 4K, the computer over here, which is the one you see the best way to predict the future is to create it. That's what that wallpaper is. That is outputting at 4K output. And then we also have the future created, your future created by what you do today, not tomorrow. That is my live streaming system desktop, which shows up as extended. So there are multiple options that you can do with this. So I don't know what is the easiest way for me to show how this is, but we have modes. Well, you're going to see the modes here on the screen. So this is the default mode. If we hit mode, we can switch over to this view where it just has 2 of the inputs in the middle and the other one squished to the sides. Another mode is channels 1 and 2. Hit it again. Now you have input number 1 right now, the main one, but then all the rest of them at a different size. And then we have 1 input. That's the last mode. Now, with the buttons on the front, all of them are lit up right now. So I'm going to hold it up. Hopefully you can see that. All of these are lit up. So if I just happen to tap channel number 1, it will cycle through all of the inputs so I can change the position. So number 1 is my camcorder right here. So if I hit 1, now see it'll switch over to number 2, hit it again. Now input number 3, and then input number 4. So you could make all of these the exact same thing if you wanted to. So you can always change the position of which one you want to be what, and that goes for each mode. So if we switch to the mode, say we don't want this like this, and we want to switch these to our computers, and then we can switch the other to our main cameras. So something like that. Go to the next mode. We can switch which input we want where by just tapping anything. Now 3 and 4 won't do anything on this mode because you're only showing 2 inputs. Another mode, now we can change this, obviously, the exact same way. Pick whichever camera input that you want. So, and then we're back to just full screen, and then you would just tap the appropriate channel to show that one on the screen. Very straightforward. The remote actually has the controls, the exact same things that you can press directly that we had to cycle through on the mode button on the actual device. And sorry, I had to re-record the audio because I was away from the mic while I was talking. But there is a direct button for each input, as well as doing a refresh, going through each mode. You can cycle through them or go directly to the mode by pressing the equivalent button on the remote. It does have an audio button, on-screen display. What does that do? Okay, you just see the resolution at the top. Now, it actually does have a scaler inside of this. So if we go back to our multi-view, as you can see, this camera is coming in over at 1080p, because actually this camcorder will only output at 1080p. You won't output at 4K from the camera, but all the other places actually will say what it is. Yeah, so yeah, actually all of them are at 1080p. So I guess I can crank it up. But yeah, that's really cool. So like I said, if you had splitters or something like that, you could have this sit up under your ATEM Mini, and then maybe get some short HDMI cables and splitters, and that will work. Or like I said, you can just have this, and this could be an alternative to, like I said, I'm using the ATEM Mini Pro, but the way I'm using it, I still can't even use the multi-view. So in this setup, I'm stationary. I'm not really moving my ATEM around anywhere. So I could put this in a nice, neat way where I have some cables and the HDMI splitters going in to the ATEM and this, and it will work. Now, one thing I will mention with this is whatever you're connecting to this, you need to, and you might not have that big of an issue with it, but I just want to raise the concern that the ATEM does have a scaler on it, so does this. So it should dynamically change what's coming in. But the concern is if I hook my camcorder up to this, or say you have your PlayStation or your Xbox or something like that, and you're having that push out in 4K, the ATEM can't accept 4K, but this can. And now you have to, if you're splitting this, it's like which one takes priority. That could be a problem. So I would say if you are using something like this, I would not set the device at all to an auto resolution. I would hard set it to whatever resolution that can be accepted by both. So for the ATEM, the highest it can go is 1080p at 60 frames a second. I would set whatever my device that way. Or at, it actually says it doesn't do anything lower than 30. So you're at 30, 50, or 60. Set it to that, and then the ATEM and the multi-view should work. Now, I am talking about the ATEM a lot. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to use it this way. I mean, you can set this up if you don't have a switcher at all. You can still split this and say you're using a quad capture device on your computer, but you don't have a multi-view. Honestly, you should have it if you're using that. But, I mean, you can use this for other ways. You can use this for like a security cam or something. If you have 4 cameras somewhere else and you can have a multi-view and see them all that way. I'm just thinking of this because this is how I would use this right now. I would use this as another way to give myself a multi-view with using this type of setup in a church type of scenario. So again, thank you so much, OREI, I really appreciate this 4K HDMI 4x1 quad multi-viewer. I had to look down and read it, so I make sure I get the exact name right. Thank you so much. Now, they didn't pay for this, but they did send me this for me to have and to review. So I will have a sponsor link or a product promotion or whatever link it needs to be there. So you don't have to worry about it. But I also have a link in the description on where you can get one of these awesome little devices. And also let me know how else you will want me to test this out. I am probably going to order some more HDMI splitters and longer, maybe some thin HDMI cables so that I don't have cables all over the place, and probably use this as a multi-view solution right now until I come up with something else for my setup. I'm kind of running out of desk space here, but anyway, let me know in the comments if there's any other questions you got about this device, or if you want something else, some other thing you want me to test out with it. I try to get to all the comments that I possibly can. Thank you so much, folks. If you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. I want to thank the patrons for making this video possible. Their name's on the screen right now, and you too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, or you can click the join button below and become a YouTube member for as little as $4.99 a month. No matter which path you choose, folks, just realize you are helping us modernize media ministries all over the world. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ, and we will see you on the next video later.